That's what he does on the show, right? He goes around, he smacks everybody's hands, he comes up. Yeah, that's a very strange show. I used to watch a lot of Jerry Springer, though, in college. That was one of the things we used to do for our free time in the Center for Black Culture. I used to go for the University of Delaware. Thank you, DJ, for that song. Did you like that Brave song by Sarah Bareilles? Anybody? Play it one more time for me. Let me get the full effect of that song. Listen to the words she's saying. Say what you want to say. Say what you want to say. But why aren't we saying it? Rejection! You don't want to say what you want to say because you're afraid somebody will say no to you. Now, I'm going to thank my daughters, Jaylyn and Layla. When Jennifer asked me, what's your intro music? What do you want to have it come up to? I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know what's hot right now. I started listening to music on the radio around 2000. I don't even know what the new songs are. I couldn't tell you anything. You play that old school stuff like he was playing a second ago? Follow me. I was like, oh, yes. You taking me back. I was like, my soul clap. Who remembers the soul? Anyone remember the soul clap? Soul clap? Oh, yeah. So I sent my wife a text message. I was like, what should I do for an intro song? So last night on Skype, she was like, yo, the girls came up with this song. Then she said, you should do Brave. And I'm like, what's that? Like, I know there's a movie called Brave that Disney did. I decided to go Google the song, listen to the words. When I first heard those words, I was like, oh my goodness. How did they know that that song would tie in to the topic that I'm about to teach? You know, some things just synchronize. Now, it's not us. It's someone else that's controlling it. I know him by the name of Jesus. You can call him whatever you want to call him, but I call him Jesus.
I know that's right. Hey.
So I was just so impressed with them. I like to enroll my whole family in the things that I do. Because I'm not there, I'm here, but I want them to be a part of it as well. Because for us, it's a lifestyle. But it wasn't always a lifestyle for me. Because one of the reasons why I teach this topic is so many of us are small business owners, so many of us as entrepreneurs. What we allow to happen is we allow rejection to rob us of our revenue. You should put that in your notes. You might want to put it as a question. Is rejection robbing you of your revenue? Now, I cannot answer that. Only you cannot answer that. But I do know this. All of us in this room have goals. We all have dreams. We all have a vision. We all know what we want our business to look like. And because we're afraid of asking for a sale, because we're sometimes afraid of making a phone call, we let rejection rob us of money in our bank account. We let rejection rob us from the things we want to do with our families. We let rejection rob us from the moments we want to create for our sons, for our daughters, for our spouses. And I want to be here today. I flew all the way from Pennsylvania. I got on a 5 o'clock flight to be here yesterday. And the reason I came, number one, I love Ruben. I met Ruben, let me think, it's February. It's probably like 6 or 7 months ago. And we had a Black CEO conference in Maryland. It was the first time I ever met Ruben for the first time. And I was really impressed with him. I was admiring him from a distance. Then I did not know a few months later I would be at the Black Speakers Boot Camp. The Black Belt Speakers Boot Camp, being on stage. So this is just an honor for me to invite me to be here today. It's so interesting how meetings, instant meetings, can just transform your life in a short period of time. So I'm so thankful for him putting this event together, bringing us all here together to share our stories, to share our passion, and to have iron sharpen iron sharpen iron, because all of us are going to grow, develop, and become better business owners, become better speakers based on what's happening here today. Would you all agree with that?
Yes.
See, let me tell you who this presentation is for. I want to share with you who the people are that are allowing rejection to rob them of their revenue. Those folks are the ones who are, number one, afraid of rejection. You know anyone's afraid of rejection?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not saying you, but you might have a cousin. We all got cousins. And when we're afraid of rejection, we fear this thing. It's like our torture. It's like it takes our heart. We don't ask the questions we need to ask. We don't go after the opportunities we really want to go to. Another person who's allowing rejection to rob them of their revenue is those who've been hurt by rejection. You had an experience. It was so painful that now it just changes you. It changes you to play small, not to play big, to settle for things in life. Other folks who allow rejection to rob them of their revenue, or people who avoid rejection. They do everything in their power to put themselves in spaces where rejection will not happen to them. Well, no one will have a chance to say no to them. And we're going to find out later in this presentation that when you avoid rejection, you're really rejecting yourself. You'll catch that later. That was deep. That was deep. Some people still thinking about it. They're like, oh, that's so deep, Jay. That's what he's so thinking about it. The last person is those who are afraid to ask. If you're afraid to ask for a sale, if you're afraid to ask someone to take advantage of your product, if you're afraid to ask someone to book you as a speaker, then how are you going to generate revenue for your family, generate revenue for your business? So these are the people that rejection are for. Now, I'm going to be totally transparent. I was Veronica, right? Veronica was up here a second ago. She was talking about keeping it real. I'm a strong believer in authenticity and keeping it real. So I'm not talking to you about rejection from a theoretical perspective. I'm talking to you from a perspective of life experience. I have been rejected. But the problem is when I experienced my first rejection, I wasn't in a position where I was able to manage it or handle it effectively. See, most of us, our first vivid rejection, that monumental one, the one that shaped how we think, the one that shaped how we feel, it usually happened sometime in your childhood. And most of us didn't have the proper training from our parents. We didn't have any psychologists that we were going to. My family didn't believe in therapy. We believed in church, but not therapy. So I'm understanding the 7 days a week because I'm a PK. Any church people know what a PK is? Yes. What's a PK? Preacher's kid. Yes, I am a preacher's kid. So I was in church all the time, Sunday all day. I used to have those little paper bags with chicken and a biscuit in it. Chicken and a biscuit. They might give you a soda that we would take on the road because my dad would go speak. They give you chicken and a biscuit and you're in the back seat getting all greasy. There's only one napkin. I don't know why they would only put one napkin in this greasy chicken. Who knows what I'm talking about? Anyone understand what I'm talking about? Yeah. So my first vivid rejection happened in elementary school. I was in 3rd grade. I'm from a small town in Pennsylvania. The town I grew up in only has 2 stoplights. 2 stoplights. And I was in the school, Avenue Elementary School. My teacher, her name was Miss Buffington. There was a young lady, her name was Shannon. Shannon was cute. I really liked her. I was like, oh man, I get the little butterflies. You know, you're like, oh, Shannon's coming. Oh my goodness. Who's ever felt like that? No one's ever felt like that before? Just me. Okay, I maybe I'm the only one. I'm like, Shannon's coming. So one day I got the courage. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to send her a message. Now, I know we got some young people in the room. So nowadays, when they send a message, they pull out their phones. They send a message. No, back in the day, we would get a piece of paper. You would write on a piece of paper. But you can just give the paper, though. You can just give the paper. We had intricate folds. You had intricate folds because you had to fold it all up. And it was tied all together. You'd be like, I'm going to slide this over. I'm going to pass it to Jeff. Jeff's going to pass it to Veronica. And then eventually it's going to get to Shannon. Yeah. So what did the note say? The note says, Shannon, I like you. Do you like me? Just check the box. Yes or no? So I was like, all right, something good's about to happen to me today. And all of a sudden, the note was like, no. Now, I gotta admit, at 8 years old, in 3rd grade, having someone that you really like say no to you is a crushing moment. Because no one's there to tell you that Shannon may not be the right one for you. There might be other girls later on down the road. You think that this is it. This life is now over. So I was hurt. My first major rejection, I was hurt by this. So of course I had to avoid Shannon for the rest of 3rd grade. Because you can't be like, because now she knows you opened up your heart to her. And you're like, in your mind, my mind's saying she's probably telling all her friends, I'm a punk. You know, like, who has ever felt like you hear it in your mind, has the conversation? You know, I cried about it. I was embarrassed. And this embarrassment caused fear. See, that moment, that feeling, the feeling is not real in terms of a physical thing happening to you, but that emotional thing causes the actual physical response. I was reading Psychology Today a few months ago. They've actually done studies. They had an fMRI where they were able to figure out that that this rejection that we all experience, this social rejection, actually causes physical pain. And it's biological. It tracks all the way back to when we had to survive as a group, as a tribe. So we didn't want to separate from the tribe because that would have damaged our life. We couldn't survive on our own. So that's carried with us from generation to generation to generation. So we actually feel physical pain when we experience rejection. Which is why we avoid it. Because if something is hurting you, you don't want to keep doing it. But what I also experienced is that rejection doesn't stop at one time. See, I was afraid to ask for things that I wanted. I was afraid to go after the stuff I wanted. But rejection started to get compounded. Because you start to see other evidence that the rejection that you have, the first rejection, is coming true because you start to get other rejections. So, oh, there it is again. There it is again. There it is again. So being a preacher's kid in third grade wasn't cool. Because everybody else was wearing jeans and sneakers. My mom said, no, you're going to wear slacks and shoes. So I'm going to school like I'm going to church. What do the kids do? They're like, oh, look at that church boy. Oh, it's a church boy. Oh, it's a church boy. Mama dressed like that. So now how do I feel? I'm embarrassed now. My peers. Shannon don't like me. My peers don't like me. And it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop there. Now you go from elementary school. What's next after elementary school? Middle school. Now how many of us remember gym class? Gym class, you had to play basketball. You had to pick a team. So like, okay, you're going to be a captain? You're going to be a captain. And the rest of us are sitting down. They're like, all right, I want John Cena. Okay, I want Dr. Z. I'm going to take Sabrina. Okay, I'm going to take you over there. They just keep going back and forth, back and forth. So I'm sitting there like, all right, everybody's getting picked. Everybody's getting picked. Everybody's getting picked. Now you're the last one on the bleachers. And everybody knows why you're the last one on the bleachers. Because you're the last one picked because nobody wants you. And when it makes it worse, one of the captains was my cousin. Yeah. His name is Danny. I won't say his last name. Because, Facebook, everybody knows everybody now. You're going to start tweeting out, your cousin's talking about you. Yeah. So now, not only is Shannon rejected me, not only my peers rejected me, now I got my family rejected me.
Wow.
And all these experiences that we've had, they all start place when we're a youth. We're in these grades when we're young, and no one's teaching us how to manage our emotions. We're trying to figure it all out on our own. And a lot of times it's not our parents' fault because they didn't know how to manage their own emotions.
Right.
They didn't get any training. They didn't go to any schools on how to deal with life. They just gave us the best of what they had. So now we move into adulthood. Now I'm an adult. And all that stuff, all those feelings I had now carry with me. And as an adult, I decided I didn't want to be an employee. I recognized early in life that I was psychologically unemployable. Some people, you know that too. You were psychologically unemployable. You know how it is. You're at the office and they tell you something, you're like, what? Because you ask too many questions. You're like, why are we doing that? You ask, and they don't like people who ask questions. They want people to just go along, to get along. You're like a troublemaker. That's psychologically unemployable. Because you know you could be doing better than this. You know there's something more for you. You know you were destined for greatness. So I started my first business, I was 21 years old. I was 21 years old, I started my own company, and I was working full-time, building my business part-time. But remember, here I am, this person, 8 years old, 11, 12 years old, now 21 years old. Nothing's really changed. I haven't gone to any counseling. All that stuff that was there from childhood is now just carried over into what? Adulthood. So now I have a super conflict. I'm highly ambitious. You can tell I'm ambitious by the way I dress. I got butterfly cufflinks, dragonfly cufflinks. Look at on the camera. Dragonfly cufflinks, right? So you have this ambition. How many of us here are highly ambitious? I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand on this one, but some of us are highly ambitious and also afraid.
Yep.
So I was highly ambitious and afraid. What does that do for my business? I'm not making any phone calls. I'm afraid if I call somebody, they're going to say what? No. I'm not asking for a sale. If I ask for a sale, somebody's going to say to no phone calls, no sales, no clients, no money, no revenue. Even though you got the goals on the dream board, goals on the mirror, affirmations every day, going to seminars, getting motivated, getting pumped up. Yeah, Jeff. We wear motivation like a cologne or a perfume. We spray it on for 3 or 4 days, then eventually just like, wears off. Because we don't take it with us. We don't take the motivation with us. We get it at these little events, these conferences. Something has to keep you going. Something has to keep you driven. Something has to keep you building your business when you're not here around all these people. When we go back to our real world. So I was the first person that I had to practice rejection therapy on. It was myself. I had to learn some stuff. I was my first rejection therapy client. Because I had to figure out what was going on with me. Then once I figured out what was going on with me and I started getting results, then I can help other people. So what type of results have I had? Okay. This year will be the 13th year I've been self-employed. Full time. 13 years. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that to impress you. I'm just telling you, thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. Arsenio used to get those too. Yeah. The dog pound. I'm calling it dog pound. So I'm not saying that to impress you, but to tell you it can be done. And if I can do it, I'm from a small town. Got rejected by Shannon. I'm sure all of us in this room, at some point, you had a rejection, right? You've had some type of vivid rejection. Can anybody say, yes, I've had a vivid rejection? Something happened. So if I can do it, if I can get past mine, it's possible you can get past yours. There's nothing special about me. And being in business that long, I've also turned business into a lifestyle. I don't work all the time. This week I'm away, but next week I'll be home full time. I do bus duty. Yes. I am there. Well, I don't enjoy bus duty. Don't get it wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm there for them. I really don't want to be, but that's my responsibility as their father. I thought I was done with the bus. When I graduated high school, they didn't say you got to do it all over again when you have kids. You don't understand what I'm talking about? Like, they didn't say I had to get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and stay outside in the cold, because it gets cold in Pennsylvania. It snows. So I used to wear be out there waiting for the bus in a thick coat. I thought I was done. Now I'm out there with a thick coat with 2 girls. Like, man, this is not cool. But I'm there for them. Well, how can you be there for them? Because when you learn how to turn rejection into revenue, that's the key. Turn rejection into revenue, then you can create a lifestyle. You don't have to work every day. I do about 8 talks a month. And then I can be home. I can be home with my wife. I can be home with my daughters. I can be home having people think I'm unemployed. Because that's what they do. When they see you walk around in t-shirts and shorts, what do they call those flip-flops? What do they call them? Slides or something? Slides. I got those little slides. Yeah, I like them slide things. When you walk around like that and you're going to go get a cheesesteak in the middle of the day, they're like, he must not work. Well, he's always here getting a cheesesteak, though. He must got some money coming from somewhere. He got a cheesesteak budget. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not getting dressed up. I'm not getting dressed up all the time because I don't want to. But I had to be able to do something first to be able to put myself in a position where I can no longer have a job. I didn't have anybody telling me what to do. I didn't have somebody telling me where I could go on vacation. I didn't have anybody telling me what I could do for my family, for my kids. See, I'm not about money. When you hear me talk about revenue and all that, I'm not about money. What I'm about is moments. I'm about taking money and turning money into magical moments. Right now, there's a lot going on in our world. We've seen Puerto Rico being hit. We've seen Houston being hit. And all these places that are being hit, someone's asking for money because there's not enough to deal with the situation. Well, if money was not a problem for us, if our revenue was high enough because we got past the rejection, we could get our own plane and go down there. We could get our own supplies. We don't have to wait on anybody else to take care of the things that we care about. Because see, not everybody cares about the same stuff that you care about. But when you're asking them for money, they control what you do with the money because they got input because it's their dollar. Is everyone getting this? So when it's us controlling the budget, if you have your own foundation, you got your own planes, you got your own supplies, you can just go down, I'm just going to go in and do my own thing. But not all of us are in the position because rejection is holding us hostage. So what I'm here to do is to share with you some secrets. I'm going to share with you some secrets on how to overcome rejection. And we got to recognize some things. We got to rewire our brain. We got to change how we think about this thing, rejection. We got to change how we see no's. Because we've all been programmed. Can anyone here admit we've all been programmed to look at rejection and no's a certain way? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. So here's the first thing. I got 2 outcomes for you. One outcome is I want to show you a better way to process rejection. I want to help you process this thing because it's going to happen. How can we process it more effectively? And number two, I want you to move you to action, to get you from the rejection and move you into revenue. Because that's what's going to take place when you leave here. But we all agree that when we leave here, the goal is to take what? Action. But what happens is sometimes we leave here and life shows up again. Life gets in the way of a lot of our dreams because we've escaped for the weekend. But life is still going on while we're not here. Yes or yes? Yeah. So here's the first thing you got to recognize. Rejection is not a reflection of who you are. A lot of times we get rejected. The first question we ask is, what's wrong with me? The questions you ask determine the answers you receive. Your subconscious brain, everyone understand they have a conscious and a subconscious? When you ask your subconscious brain what's wrong with you, what is its job to do? Find something that's wrong with you. So here's what you understand. Rejection has nothing to do with you. Rejection is an opinion. An opinion was shaped by life experience, culture, environment, a whole lot of external factors that have nothing to do with us. See, rejection is a human experience. So rejection, a lot of times, has more to do with the other person than it does have to do with you. But when we hear it and we see it, we think it's all about us. At some point in time today, you're going to reject somebody. You don't think about it, but you are. Because someone wants to go and eat. They go like, you want some coffee? No. Rejection! Do you even think about that being a rejection? But you said what? No. Does the server fall down? Oh, she said no to the coffee. You said no to the coffee? No. Because we're not saying rejection to them, we're saying rejection to what? The coffee. A lot of times when we offer someone our services, when we offer them our product, then they say no, we're thinking it's about us. They may not have wanted your service or your product. It has nothing to do with us half the time. I don't drink coffee, so I'm not going to force myself to say yes to something I don't want. I like ketchup. Jay Lynn, my youngest daughter, likes honey mustard. So they said, you want some ketchup? She's like, no. Is everyone getting this? Rejection has nothing to do with you about your self-worth. Here's something else we have to recognize. No one likes rejection. No one likes it. But it happens to what? Everybody. Everybody experiences rejection. Everyone. I don't care how great you think someone is. They've all experienced rejection. And here's the real thing you understand. It doesn't matter your status in life. The higher you go up in life, the more rejections you're going to get. See, one of my mentors, I used to be in this gentleman's coaching program, and he used to say this, that the higher you go up the flagpole, the more your butt stands out. Some people get that later. I'm like, they're still thinking about it. They're still thinking about it. It's all right. You get it on the next break. You're like, man, Jerry would drop some stuff. I didn't even get it. It was the delayed reaction. It took me a while to get it. All right, here's the better one. Here's the better one. Here's the better one. A dog does not bark at a parked car.
Sometimes it does.
That's not what a dog barks at. Most dogs bark at stuff that's moving. So if you're moving, you're taking action, that's why people are going to be barking at you, because they are not taking action. They are not doing what they're supposed to do. They are not getting the results in life that they want. So to make them feel better, they're going to try to sabotage you.
Oh.
Is there anything else? Okay. Because you also got to understand, every world changer was met with violent rejection. So just a couple weeks ago, I was watching Gandhi. Anyone ever seen the movie Gandhi? I remember Ben Kingsley, I was watching that. So I watch this stuff with my daughters all the time. And we talk about it. Like, see this? How do you feel about that? See what they just did? How do you feel about this? Gandhi got killed by his own people. That's crazy right there. Martin Luther King. They're like, Martin Luther King Day. Everybody happy? They killed him too. Here's what. They also killed Jesus. And he was coming to save everybody. They're like, no, we're going to just crucify you. So if they crucified Jesus, they shot Martin, and they shot Gandhi, somebody's going to say no to me.
Right.
At some point, somebody's going to say no to me. Yeah. Because I'm not Jesus. Definitely not Martin. And I like food too much to be Gandhi. Okay? You will not see me on a hunger strike. Is everyone getting that? Okay? Is everyone getting that? So here's what you understand. It happens to everybody. So if it happens to everybody, and it's going to happen regardless, then you got to get good at dealing with it. You have to get good at dealing with it. So the key to your success is how do you handle it? How do you handle rejection? So I'm going to give you some strategies. So buckle up. It's about to go real fast right now. I'm going to give you some strategies. You know, the clock's not on? I have no idea how much time I have left. Okay. So, strategy number 1. Shake it off. I know Taylor Swift came out with a song recently. Shake it up, ooh, ooh. Right? And the kids like, something like that. I think that's how it goes, right? Something like that. I heard it on the radio. I don't even know all the words. But here's the one thing I know about the shake it off. So I told you that I'm PK. I told you I spent a lot of time in church. So I hope you're not surprised that I have a biblical reference. There was a man who put together a group of messengers, let's say his reps. He got his reps together, and he was training his reps on how to go out and move the product, create some distribution. Okay? He was going to put them out on the different corners and have them distribute the product. Okay? Yeah, he did. He said, go out to the different corners of the world. I see. There, it's in there. As you can read it, it's in there. And what he told them was, everybody's not going to want the product. He said, this product is a great product. It's probably one of the best products on the market. No one else has a product like it. They've never seen anything like it, never heard anything like it, and it will transform their lives. But guess what? Everybody's not smart. So some people are going to say, no, I don't want the product. So what do you tell them to do? Shake the dust off your feet and move to the next town. What are we doing? Keeping the dust. Holding on to it. Commiserating. Taking honor and pride in the dust. Sharing the dust with our friends and families about how honorable it is to go through the dustful experiences you've been through. Then when you carry the dust with you, it goes to the next phone call, next conversation. So we're just dusty. A lot of us just go ahead and just start shaking it off. But why did he tell them to shake it off? Why would he train them on this? He trained them on this because it's going to happen regardless. If it's going to happen to everybody, I got 20 minutes? Okay, cool. 20 minutes, it's not real fast then. So he said shake it off for a reason, because he's preparing them for something that's going to happen regardless. So what else happens regardless? How many of us ever had a headache? Do you like a headache? No. But does it always happen? Does it happen? So what do? We find a solution for it. When it comes to rejection, most of us, do we find a solution for it? No, we try to avoid it. Put ourselves in a situation where it's not going to happen. You cannot avoid a headache. Does that understand what I'm saying to you? We go ahead and we take something for it. So when it comes to rejection, you got to find another solution for it. Because when you avoid rejection, you're also avoiding your success. You're avoiding the dream. You're avoiding the goal. You're avoiding what God has destined for you to do. And no one's doing it to you. You're doing it to yourself. Why else did he teach them this? Why else did he take them to shake it off? Well, here's another strategy. He was telling them that you have to embrace rejection. If it's going to happen, you got to embrace it. There's this therapeutic technique called immersion therapy. And I witnessed this one time. I witnessed immersion therapy. I was watching this movie. I watch a lot of movies. Big fan of Netflix, all type of stuff. There was a movie called Batman. Everyone see Batman? Batman Begins. And what he did, when he was a child, he fell into this well. And in the well, there was a bunch of bats, and it scared him. So when he became an adult, he wanted to take that bat character and make it his persona. So the first thing he did was deal with his fear of bats. And he immersed himself with the bats. So what I want you to do, I want you to go out and get a rejection journal. That's step number one. Get a rejection journal. A rejection journal. Now, I know some of us are old school, some of us are new school. So I still have paper stuff. Anyone still have paper stuff? I like a journal that's on paper. You can go get a journal at the store. There's many websites out there that I found that actually customize journals. I like custom journals. I have my own little stuff written on the covers. Some of you are electronic. You like to have the new apps and stuff. So there's an app you can go get. It's called penzu.com. Then you get yourself a little app journal. So now you can do electronic journal. But you need to get a what type of journal? Rejection journal. Rejection journal. Because I want you, from a therapeutic process, to start to track your no's, measure your no's, see what happens when you're getting a no. And the goal for you, I have a goal for you. This is going to be step number 2. The goal for you is to get 100 no's. 100 no's. That's part of the immersion therapy. What is getting 100 no's going to do for you? 100 no's is going to give you the experience of dealing with rejection on a consistent basis to take away the sting of a rejection. The more rejection you experience, the less likely rejection is going to bother you. Because you're just like, oh, it's just the way it is. But when it comes like every once in a while, the pain of it is always going to be at its maximum capacity. Also, why do you want to get 100 no's? You want to master rejection. Master it. Malcolm Gladwell, he wrote a book called Outliers. Who's read it? Okay, if you haven't, I would suggest you go ahead and do that. He talks about putting in 1,000 hours. 1,000 hours. You know what most people want? They want a microwave revenue. They want to microwave their revenue. There's no way you can microwave it. What was your name again, sir? Kevin. He just got up here and said, was it 10 years? 10 years. You can't microwave the results. There's a process you have to go through. It takes time. So the question is, have you put your hours in yet? If you're honest with yourself, you know what the answer is. See, I just watched this movie back in the day. There's a movie called The Last Dragon. Last Dragon. And there was this bad man named Shogun. But he was the Shogun of Harlem. So you gotta watch the guy. He would call himself Shonuff, but Shonuff was the Shogun of Harlem. And what he used to say is, who is the master? Who's the master? So when it comes to rejection, who's the master? And for most of us in the room, I don't think we got the Golden Globe just yet. I don't think we got the Golden Globe just yet, because rejection is mastering us. Rejection is mastering us. Rejection is controlling what we do. When we hear a no, no causes our action to change. So is no the master of you? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Who's the master, you or the no? When you go through your 100 no's, you're training yourself to become what? The master. So one no is not going to stop me from making a phone call. One no is not going to stop me from talking to somebody else. But if I'm getting no's sporadically, I feel sad if I get a no. Then I go back to sit on the couch. Then I got to build myself back up again. Versus just saying, just keep at it, just keep at it, just keep at it. I'm not expecting you to get a yes every time. I'm expecting you to get the no so you can feel the no, so you can document the rejection. I want you to document what's happening to you. I want you to document what you feel. I want you to document what they say. Because I want you to document the pattern. There could be certain things that happen every single time. I was an athlete in school. I was a wrestler. I started wrestling when I was 10 years old. Every wrestling match, I videotaped it. So I can see what I did good, I can see what I did wrong. So I can make adjustments. A football team was just here a couple minutes ago. Guess what they're going to do? Go over the game, film after the game is over. Game plan before the game film after the game. Why? So they can see what to do to make adjustments. When you have a sales conversation, when you have an experience, when was the last time you checked your game film? Better yet, when was the last time you had a game plan? Is everybody getting all this? Yeah, we just say, ooh, that was bad. I don't want that to happen again. Because I'm looking for a what answer? Yes. Most of us are looking for a yes. We're chasing the yes rather than dealing with the no. See, at some point, you got to deal with the fact that rejection has a number. Rejection has a number. If the founder of McDonald's, Ray Kroc, would have stopped at the first rejection, there wouldn't be a McDonald's on every corner. If Colonel Sanders stopped at the first rejection, none of us would have KFC. Everyone getting this? If Thomas Edison stopped at the first rejection, we wouldn't even have any lights in here. They kept going because eventually they found something that actually what? Worked. Because rejection has a number. So my question to you is, what's your number? What's your yes to no ratio? How many no's do you need to go through before you get to a yes? Because that way you know what you're going to have to deal with. If my ratio is 1 to 10, that means if I want to get 5 yeses, I got to talk to 50 people. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, I'm not looking for the yeses. I'm thinking about how many no's do I need to get. I'm trying to get the no's. Because I prefer to eliminate people up front. Too many of us are trying to get people into something that they're only going to get out of later. I want you to tell me no now. How quickly can I get to the no so I can move on to something who really wants to be here? I'm trying to build a coalition of the willing. Not the ones I gotta drag, not the ones I gotta convince, not the ones I gotta say, please, 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 please. That's James Brown, not Jerry Franklin Poe. So many of us are trying to get the yes so bad that they just feel bad for us. And they're like, all right, you beat me into it. That's because we don't want to go through the no's. Does everyone understand that? So you also want to document your feelings. What did you feel? What happened? What did they say? So I'm no longer asking the question, what's wrong with me? I'm just asking the question, what happened? What happened in this situation? That way I can see what to adjust for the future. Is this helping out anybody at all? Awesome, 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 awesome.
Jerry, may I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Like, when I receive a no, I look at it like, what did I do wrong? And we're supposed to take responsibility, right?
Say it again.
We're supposed to take responsibility and know that it's our fault that it went wrong. Nobody else's, right?
Well, responsibility is not taking fault. Responsibility is saying I'm a cause in the matter. So if I'm a cause in the matter, I'm a cause for it to happen in a positive way or a negative way. So I can take responsibility and not take blame.
Okay.
See, blame is an emotional experience. Okay? Taking responsibility is seeing what actions did I have in this situation. They may have rejected me for some other reasons that nothing to do with me. That's why there's 31 flavors of ice cream and Baskin Robbins. Because every flavor is not for everybody. That's why Shannon said no to me, because I wasn't for her. I was for somebody else. Does you understand that? I was for somebody else. So you gotta find out who you're for. Who's your people? Who's your tribe? Some of us in here have tribes. I've seen tribes. I've seen somebody give a tribal symbol yesterday. You and Johnson gave a tribal symbol. She's like, we're from the same tribe. Gave a little pyramid. So we all have, when you're in those little groups, you reject people all the time. Like, I don't think they're a part of this. They don't qualify for us. Right? They say, many come, but few were chosen. But when it comes to our stuff, we're trying to get everybody in, even people who don't really deserve it. They're not going to cherish it, not going to prize it. So if you really value your stuff, then you want to have people who also value it as well. Is everyone getting that? Here, let me give my last final thought on this. I should say thoughts. Yeah, you know how preachers do. Like, about the clothes. One more scripture about the clothes. You know how it is. That's why I grew up. So, that's what it is. See, all of us, we're on a journey. You're trying to get from one destination to the other. And I'm sure some of us in this room, you've experienced some type of long-distance relationship. Anybody ever experienced a long-distance relationship? Mm-hmm. So, I used to, when my wife and I first started dating, we were at different colleges. So I used to have to drive to see her. And, you drive to someplace, and it's a long drive. You're like, oh, man, I really don't make this drive. See, most of us in this room, we're trying to get from point A to point B. You're asking the question for the sale, and you're trying to get to the yes. What we don't realize is that there are mile markers. When I would take the journey from my college to my wife's college, I started to transform the process and get excited at the mile markers. Because I'm like, I'm getting closer. Oh, I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer. You start doing a little happy dance. I'm getting closer. But see, when we're going through our mile markers, which are the no's, we're starting to say, put the car in reverse. Let me slow down. So what that does is what? It slows you from getting to your destination. See, yes is where we're all going, but no is how we get there. Can you say that? Yes is where we're all going, but no is how we get there. For everybody repeat after me, say that. Yes is where we're, but no is how we get there. You have to go through the no's to get to the yes, which means you better start enjoying the no's. Transform how you perceive the rejection. Say thank you to them for saying no. Because at least you know they're not the one. Because I'm looking for the one. The one that I'm supposed to work with. The one I'm called to work with. The one I need to work with. The one that needs me in their life to transform what they need to transform. Amen. And most of us are so eager to get to the yes. And what we do is we live in the yes. And that means you live in your past. Because it was so hard for you to get that one yes, you want to savor in that moment. Or I was talking about, I got a yes yesterday. Well, who cares? That was yesterday. What about tomorrow? Because what you got to understand about the journey is when you get to one destination, now that destination is a new location, and you got to get to another destination. And if you're still talking about what you did do, you're not going to be going where you need to be. So people who always talk about the yeses are the ones who are living in the past. I want people who are talking about the no's that are going from 1 mile marker to the next mile marker to the next mile marker to the next mile marker. Because what is it? Yes is where we're all what? But no is how we get there. So everything I'm talking to you about, everything I talk to you about today is all about faith. See, faith comes by what? Hearing. But you know what else comes by hearing? Doubt. And when we leave here, we're leaving the faithful, and we're going to go back to a world full of what? Doubters. So when I decided to come here, I just didn't come here for no reason. I wanted to come here to give you something to leave with. This conversation, we had to compress a lot of information in a short period of time. Rejection therapy, you can't get it in 30 minutes. It took me more than 30 minutes to be able to transform how I thought about this. So I know some of you are thinking, like, how can we continue this conversation? What I want you to do is understand that you need to get away from the doubters and get around some revenue warriors. And I want to invite you. Can we have those, Shay, can we get someone pass out the invitations? Do we have an invitation for you to join a group of revenue warriors? Beyond today's session, beyond tomorrow's session. So when you're going back, you're not just doing it on your own. You're not feeling like you're in a tribe by yourself. You have a tribe of revenue warriors who are out there doing what they can to go through the nodes to get to the business results that they want. So I want to give them a second to get these invitations out to you. Because I got something special I think you all will benefit from. I know you'll benefit from this. So I know you enjoy this. How many of you enjoyed this presentation? Awesome, 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 awesome. Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Doc. Now, rejection therapy is just one part of the equation. You also got to know what to say to people. Too many folks confuse rejection with an objection. Too many folks confuse rejection with an objection. If someone gives you an objection, that's not rejection. They're asking a question, which is really a buying motive, that I just want some more information, and you can answer these questions, I will like what you have to say. You can answer them effectively. Some of us, the reason why we're getting so many no's is because, number one, the quality of our ask is not good enough. We don't know exactly what to say. We don't know how to say it. So on these invitations here, we have a program for you called Power Closes Academy. Power Closes Academy. Well, not only what you're going to get is neurolinguistic sales and rejection therapy, you're going to get a system of how to build your sales team, how to develop your own product. The first thing would be, everyone see this 2-day VIP access to the closed conference. This is a live conference. You can participate live in person, or you can participate live online. We do this about twice a year. So don't even worry about the dates right now. You'll be able to experience it whether you want to fly to the East Coast to Maryland, or you want to just watch it where you are in your home. And that conference by itself, that's $10,000 just for that one conference. The big ticket sales camp. 3 days where we're going to show you how to develop a high-level, high-ticket item. It could be a talk. Some of you want to do a talk that's $10,000. Some of you want to do a talk that's $5,000. Some of you want to have your own coaching program. Well, if you have a coaching program and someone's coaching you, you're coaching with somebody for a whole entire year, you're not trying to keep that at the low value. You want that to be a high-ticket item, $25,000, $15,000. We're not going to just teach you how to build that. We're going to teach you how to sell that as well. Because there's certain things you have to put into the process to make the sales easier for yourself. You can't always close everything in one day. Sometimes it's a 3-step, 4-step process with one person to get it to actually close. So all that together, as well as the whole entire Closes Academy. Now what's not listed here? Can I give you a bonus? Is it alright if I give you a bonus? See, some of you are thinking, I can hear it right now. It's like, well, Jerry, sales is cool, but I have nothing to sell. I have nothing to sell. That's okay. Let me write this on there, right? Somewhere, anywhere on the phone, write this down. Product Development Academy. We're going to throw in the Product Development Academy. That academy is a $5,000 value. We're going to show you how to create like a webinar, a mastermind, some type of product, some type of program just to get you started so you have something to sell. And I'm not going to be the only one there. I'll be part of the team. I'm just one of the team members. Shay's going to be there. Shay's also a sales expert. You know, Trevor's a marketing genius. I've been around a lot of marketers. In 13 years, I've been to everybody. I've been to James Malinchak. I've been to Dan Kennedy. I've been all over the place. I've never met anyone like him. He's a savant. Because when I asked him where he learned from, he can't tell me. He's like, it just comes to me. See, all these other guys, I can ask them where they got it from. They'll tell me somebody else, and I go to that person. And they're like, where'd you get that? That person, that person, that person. He has something special. It's like he just got a gift that he was born with. So I'll be there. Shay's going to be there. Trevor's going to be there. Now, the total value of all that, what was that, 5,000, 2,000, 3,000, whatever. I don't know. Ain't somebody add all of that for me? I don't know. About 9,000, 10,000, whatever it is. We're going to do something special for you today while you're here. See where it says conference special? We came here to serve you. We came here to be a blessing to everybody. So where it says conference special, put 497. 497. The reason we're doing this is because, Ruben's an awesome person. He's one of our clients. We've been working with Ruben for a while as part of Team PPI. And for those who don't have the ability to do it all in one installment, we're going to break it down, make it real simple, make it real easy for you. Just a one-time, where it says one time, that's $97. One time, no, what is that? One payment of $97. And then where it says 6, make that 12. So 12 of 67. So you can extend it over, not just 6 months, we'll extend it over the whole entire year to break it down and make it easy for you. So $97 today to lock it in. And then 12 installments throughout the rest of the year of 67. Or you can do the one time, just $497. So if you want to save yourself a couple dollars, and you have the budget, you have it in your account for your marketing, whatever you need to do, you can do it for you can just fill out the form. Whether you do it or not, just bring it to me, bring it to Shay, bring it to Trevor. Just put your name, your email, your phone number, all that information down at the bottom so you know who you are. Because more importantly, we want to have a conversation with you. We want to find out what's happening in your business. We want to know what you're going through. How can we help you deal with rejection? How can we help you help you with this process? So just bring the form to me after the break. We're going to take a break right now. I think we're taking a break, right, Jennifer? We're taking a break?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to take a break right now. I'll be outside. You can fill out the forms, bring it to me. It was my pleasure to be here. I'm so grateful and honored that Ruben asked me to be on the stage. I'm just so glad to be a part of this experience. So you have a great day. I'll be around for the rest of the weekend. Ask me any questions. Come talk to me. I'm just here to be a servant to you. So what time are we coming back? 15 minutes? 10 minutes? Or I turn it off to somebody else? I'm bringing somebody else up? Okay, Veronica. I'm turning it back over to Veronica. I don't have a